Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in.
Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for another Friday here at
The Coffee Breakup.
Oh, we said it at the same time.
Dude, hey,
oh
look at
God,
that.
it's like we're in sync.
Very special episode today.
As always, they're always.
As always, but
special.
this one is really special. For the very first time.
Before we get into that, please follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Those are the important ones. If you're watching us on YouTube, great. You can also listen to us on the go on Spotify and iTunes. If you're listening to us on Spotify and iTunes, you can watch us on YouTube, right?
Why not?
We recommend it because then you can see my reactions to everything Marvin says, which are always
entertaining.
Pretty entertaining, I would say. And also, again, back to social media, the most important thing that you can do is please like our stuff, comment,
share it, favorite
everything. But most importantly, what we look for is that comments and the messages.
Engagement.
If you're too shy to comment and leave everything on the post, we understand. But we do at least want you to DM us, because then from there we can pull what you tell us that no one sees, make it a post, and then everybody knows pretty much what we do on the back end.
Absolutely.
But what we do see is the comments and the engagements. That's what pretty much drives us for more growth. Also provides us with more information, not just for us, but also for people following us.
Right. Or their friends or family or whoever.
That's the beauty. All right. Everybody
Platform.
help everybody. That's the goal. So anyways, Marvin, back to you. I cut you off.
Yes, it's okay.
As always.
Nothing unusual. Again, this week is a very special episode. For the very first time, we have our own very much female guest.
Yes.
Yay.
If you guys are watching, you will see Stephanie, right?
Are you kidding me? You had a job. Natalie,
I'm sorry. I gotta
do it again. I'm going to have to cut this part out now.
Shit. Okay. We have a very special guest today. It's Natalie. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thanks for getting my name right, guys.
Yep.
You got it on the first try.
First try. Hey, Natalie.
Hey, guys.
How are you?
Super excited to be here. I'm
Good.
doing great.
So are we.
Thank you so much for taking the time and being out there, being out here. A lot of people have asked us to have, obviously guests on, and then obviously have a woman's perspective. For months they've been told us, and we finally listened.
But we have been listening. We never had the resources.
Exactly. So now we're at a step in time where we can have a female guest and have a female voice on the show, where we can, talk about topics and kind of open up a dialogue. So we really appreciate you being here.
So yeah, outside of our weekly topics that we usually cover, when we have a guest, we obviously like to learn about you, the guests, and pretty much we'll go through your whole stories of why you are the way that you are, why you feel the way that you feel, and hopefully that's relatable to people who are following and watching, because at the end of the day, everybody goes through some things and they think, oh my God, I'm the only one, no one will ever understand.
Right.
Well, this is the goal, right?
Right.
So, Natalie, take it away. Who are you?
Hey, guys. My name is Natalie Cardona. You can find me on IG at NathalieCFit. It's NathalieCFit. Born and raised in Miami, Florida. So 305
nice.
till I die. Shout out to all my Miami
What's your
people.
background from?
100% Bolivian.
Bolivian.
I've
never met a Bolivian.
Yeah, neither have I.
That's always a follow-up.
Interesting.
Where are you from? Bolivia. Oh, never met a Bolivian.
Oh my God.
That's awesome. Have you been?
I've been there, multiple times.
How was it?
Multiple times.
Well,
It's
how is it?
beautiful.
Really?
I love it over there. It is a third world country, but my dad's side of the family is over there. Going over there is really fun.
Okay.
Seeing our culture.
Cool.
So much more different than it is here.
I'd imagine. When was the last time you went, if you don't mind me asking?
Let me see. About 3 years ago.
Okay.
3-4 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been.
You go
some
there
time.
often?
I try to.
I sound like such a douchebag. You come here often?
Yeah, I try to go there.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
awesome.
cool.
So you have family there and maybe
I
some
do.
friends or?
Just family.
Family.
So I was born and raised here, but my entire dad's side is still over there.
Interesting. Awesome. That's interesting. Okay.
And both of your parents are from there?
Yeah, 100%
Cool.
Bolivian.
Cool,
There's
cool,
no
cool.
Wow.
variety.
Okay. But you were born here.
Yeah, I was.
Awesome. Okay. Would you ever see yourself moving there?
No.
Okay.
No.
You
I
never
want
know.
to stay in Miami for sure.
So Miami is the spot.
Miami's home.
Okay. Awesome.
Miami's
I like
home.
that. So for some people who may not know you, or would you maybe give us some insight of who you are, what you're doing in Miami, and
So we know your name, where you're from,
how old you
what
are?
do you do, how old are you, everything.
So I'm 25, going to be 26 at the end of August. So I am a Virgo through and through.
Oh, God.
If you're into astrology, you already know.
August what?
29.
29.
August 29 is my
I'm
birthday.
turning 26.
Turning 26.
Oh,
Yes.
cute.
I am an online fitness coach. I'm a certified personal trainer, certified nutritionist. I work 100% for myself. My business is NCF. So yeah, just
Beautiful.
bragging a little bit.
I love that. No, be proud of it. Own
I
that.
am so proud of it. I take pride in just helping women fix their relationship with food and empower them through fitness. fitness is something that has really molded me in a big way into who I am. And I guess we'll get into that later on in the show. But that's pretty much what I do. So I work with women all around the world, help them fix their relationship with food. One of my clients right now lives in Haiti, which is freaking awesome.
That's super cool.
Awesome.
Every day I'm on calls with prospective clients. I get to talk to women all over the world, guys. And that's what I love so much about my job and social media in general,
Of course.
is the reach. And super excited just to be on this podcast to bring a female perspective. I know you guys have been getting a lot of requests for that.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, we
really,
have.
really just excited to dive in, spill some tea.
We're gonna get in there.
Get
We're
to
gonna
the
get in there.
nitty-gritty.
We will
in
absolutely.
there.
How long have you been into fitness? Is this something that you've been into since?
And
you were
yeah,
a
and how did
child?
you even get into it? Like how, like
Being
you
a coach and
yeah, you
online?
have people in Haiti. Like how do you even get people? Like how do they find you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I started my fitness journey in 2012,
Okay.
and I just,
Cool.
I wanted to be skinny. I had body
You were-
dysmorphia.
Oh, okay.
I didn't think that, I was good enough or I looked good enough. So I was always chasing this image of perfection, of what I thought was perfection.
Right.
And I did the extremes. So I dieted on super low calories. I was doing hours of cardio. I had the terrible mindset that weights was going to make me bulky. And through my trials and errors, I realized that something was wrong. Something was missing. And clearly, it was my nutrition. So nutrition is something that I love talking about. I thrive with nutrition. I teach all my girls, proper nutrition. And I actually went to school. I got my bachelor's
Nice.
in
Where'd you go?
dietetics, FIU.
Oh, nice.
When did you graduate?
I graduated in 2017.
Sweet. All right.
Yeah, I was gonna major in dietetics and nutrition.
Really?
Yeah,
But
why
then
didn't you?
I failed the first class I took.
Like nutrition or something?
Yeah.
It was an easy ass class.
No, it was
What?
it was like world
Easy.
nutrition. It was pretty hard, man.
No, I took
Whatever.
nutrition. It wasn't. Maybe it was a different course, but
never mind. Moving. Yeah, right.
Nutrition is hard. A lot of people think that it's just, cooking classes.
Dude,
It's
I'm not saying that. But
Do you
it's
know
super
that
intriguing.
well, at least when I was going to FI, you had to take biochemistry.
And organic chemistry sucks.
You know what I mean, bro? So I saw that and I'm
intense.
like, yo, fuck this. I don't want to do this anymore.
That's
Crazy.
intense. Wow.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Yeah, the workload is, people definitely underestimate the workload for a
But
nutrition
paid off
student.
for you because you look extremely happy and it looks like you love what you do, right?
Yeah, I do.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You say that you only do girls or like you only like help girls or
Well, ultimately at the end of the day, science is science. So the
Cool.
basics that I apply to my female clients, I can definitely do to men as well.
Right.
I've taken on males, but my demographic and what I promote is women.
Is that what you prefer? Are you more comfortable with working with women, or is
Yeah,
it
because
just
I can relate to them.
Okay.
how long have you been working? You said 2012 is when this all started?
2012 is when I started my personal
Exactly.
fitness
Okay.
journey.
So when did
I
cool.
became a certified personal trainer in 2015.
Mm.
And then I started going more into the route of nutrition coaching.
Well, you graduated in
once I
2017. Cool. 2017, you said,
Yes.
right? Cool.
Yeah, so I very much value education. So I didn't feel comfortable taking on somebody's health in my hands, especially with their nutrition, if I wasn't certified, if I didn't have that knowledge.
I respect that?
Yeah.
That's good. Would you ever go back to school and for like a master's, or is in your career it's probably not necessary, right?
No, at this point, no, I'm not thinking of going back.
Okay.
How did you get started with actually like taking on how did you find your first client like to actually like begin doing this?
So I began in 2015 when I
Right.
became a certified personal trainer. I was actually training geriatric patients, so older people. So from there, my last semester of my undergrad, I was taking on 8 classes. So I wanted to finish my major. I was like,
Shoot.
What's wrong with you?
I wanted to finish.
Did you work?
No, I was a
I
personal
feel-
trainer.
Oh,
So my schedule,
Still, it's crazy.
my schedule, it was very flexible. But with 8 classes, you can only be so flexible. I was jam
Right, you
packed.
only do so much.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Well, I was crying when I took 4 classes. Take double.
but I'm a huge nerd, guys.
What is?
paid off.
So then when I was taking my 8 classes the last semester, I was like, I don't have time to be an in-person personal trainer. Let me just try to do this fully online. Once I made that step, I never went back. I never went back to training in person, and it was the best decision I ever made because in person, you're limited to the amount of people you can help at once.
Right. Like it's
Online,
a cap. There's a
online,
cap.
you can
Why do you think we're
help
here?
unlimited. Yeah,
Why do you think we're here?
exactly.
So when you work out by yourself, and you don't actually take on any clients personally, right?
In person, no. In person, no. I train by myself.
Gotcha. So what if you have friends like, hey, I'd like to work out with you?
Yeah, they'll work out with me
Okay.
from time to time.
Can they hang?
Oh, they can hang.
Oh yeah, you make sure that they can hang.
They can hang. I only work out with a select few people that could hang. If not, then no.
Oh well.
Wow. So the past, obviously, this is a very weird time that we're living in. A couple of months, has that affected you, or since you've been working online? I mean,
If anything,
Actually,
it should be
yeah,
better for you,
It
right?
was such a positive shift. This whole pandemic really helped me scale to a level that I was not scaling before. So it was kind of a blessing in disguise.
For you, right.
Us as wellness experts, it was really our time to just shine and continue providing people with the value that we have and the knowledge. You know, people are now realizing that their health is the most important thing.
Yeah.
It's fragile.
It's been great seeing people make that positive shift.
Awesome. I mean, I'm sure like you've seen, I feel like is it true that it would like gives you the happiness of seeing people before when they begin the journey and then at the end when the progress they've made and seeing them happy, right? I would imagine it obviously fuels your journey, right? That's a huge,
definitely lights my soul on fire.
Awesome. That's great. And so what's the goal for you as far as like your career path? Like where do you see yourself? Because you work fully by yourself individually. What's the goal for you?
So I would love to just have NCF continue scaling worldwide. I would love to bring on coaches under the NCF umbrella because I can only take on so many people at once.
Right.
So the hard part with that is finding coaches that are credible, finding coaches that have the same core values as me, that take people's health into consideration. So that's definitely going to be an obstacle, but that's in the near future.
I like you. We think the same.
Do you feel like Miami, the city that we live in, is more like a very saturated market when it comes to fitness? And I feel like
she's online though.
Right, on the online, but like not even just Miami, but in the global perspective. Like, I mean, there's a lot of everybody's like a fitness coach nowadays, and a lot of people get their certifications online and stuff like that. Do you feel like you compete with saturated, or you feel like you have your niche and this is yours?
I do realize that fitness is a very saturated industry, but what isn't? You know, I never let that stop me from
doing what you want to do.
From doing what I want to do and making it unique in the way that I can.
So why would people want to go to you instead of somebody else?
Because I do not provide cookie cutter plans.
Okay.
I do not provide cookie cutter plans. Everything that I do is 100% customized to the individual, which is so important. You know, you can't give a female who struggles with PCOS the same protocol that you would give to a generally healthy patient.
What's PCOS?
Polycystic ovarian syndrome.
She knows what she's talking about.
You can't just tell us like if we know.
Yeah. It's something girls struggle with.
Think we're med school or something?
So how many hours a week do you spend like prepping for your clients and doing all this stuff? I mean, you must be
24/7. 24/7. When
But
you work for yourself, it's 24/7.
Right. But also when you do what you love, it becomes less like work and more of like just a passion.
It's a hobby, yeah.
Right,
like
right.
you'd enjoy doing it.
Yeah, exactly. I never see it as work.
Awesome.
When you say health, so do you provide them with pretty much the meal plan and stuff like that? You tell them what they got to do, what they got to eat, how they got to cook and all that stuff?
Yeah. So since this is an online program, I have to be as detailed as possible because I can't leave any room for confusion, especially since this is an industry of transformations. I make everything as detailed as possible. So they get their workouts, their meal plans, their macros, their cardio, everything as specific as possible. So that they know exactly what they're doing 24/7.
Okay.
You have like a flat rate, or is it like custom, like whatever it is that the person wants?
Prices vary depending on the program, and we touch base with that on the phone call.
Cool.
Yeah.
So if somebody like enlists in your services, how long do they usually stay with you?
So my programs are 8 weeks long.
Okay.
So usually they get a reoccurring program. Usually clients stay on for 16 weeks, depending on if they reach their goals or not. But initially it's an 8-week program.
Okay.
Do you feel like people have you ever had like people that just like fall off and like they just never sucks?
Disappear.
Yeah, it sucks.
It's so
it
frustrating.
sucks because like I see the potential and I know that you can make progress. But if you're not following the
don't
plan,
have the
don't come at
discipline.
me and don't bitch at me because
Right,
it wasn't me.
Right,
It's you.
Have you ever had that happen where people try to kind of like blame you for their like obviously
Yeah.
Really?
like a discipline?
Mm-hmm. And
People
it's
do that
gotten to the
stuff.
point where now I have
they
to
expect you
fire
do
clients.
everything, yeah.
Yeah.
That's tough. So where, like you're saying, you're online and pretty much international at this point, right? Where do you have your largest
Here.
demographic in Miami?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is like your, obviously you're kind of like your bread and butter, right?
Yeah, here.
Okay, awesome.
So what do you think about people who sell Herbalife? You look like someone who sold Herbalife. Have you ever sold Herbalife before?
Never.
Have you
Really?
thnot about it?
No.
Why?
No.
No. Did you not see her reaction when I brought it up?
Well, maybe
Okay,
she's-
so in
Tell me-
school, I actually had to do a research paper on a very controversial topic. I chose Herbalife.
Yeah.
And I had to dissect the ingredients in Herbalife. I had to look up some cases on Herbalife. And so many people have gone to the hospital because of Herbalife products.
No way.
Yeah, 100%. This is a very controversial topic, so I'm not going to get into it.
Yeah, I don't want that.
People are gonna like
That's so
unsubscribe.
fascinating though, man. All right, so we got it just about you. We got the who, we got the what, we got the where you're from.
You're single, right? You mentioned we're single. How long have you been single?
I've been single for 7 months.
Okay, not
7
too long.
months.
Not too long.
How
not
long
too
was that relationship for?
9 years.
What?
Yeah.
For the fall from the chair. Yeah, that meme. For the fall from the chair.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jesus.
That's a lot. Can we just kind of keep going?
9 years.
9
What do you mean? Yes, we gotta keep going.
So I mean, can you tell us more? Are you comfortable talking about it?
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm comfortable talking about
that's
it.
a huge part of your life.
My entire life, pretty much. I met this
adult
person
life.
when I was 15.
High school
school.
sweetheart.
That was the goal. To marry my high school sweetheart.
Oh,
and,
this is gonna be
live
good.
the fairy tale and all of that. We met when I was 15. Sparks, butterflies, everything, and we just ended in October.
So 9 years. Okay,
Yeah.
so October. And can you tell us what happened? I mean, in the gist, this obviously so much happened, I would imagine, but
Were you guys the same age? Like
He's-
same grade?
Yeah, he's a year older.
A year older.
Yeah.
so
What
who-
happened? So
How'd you guys meet?
High school.
he poked me
How?
on Facebook. He
Facebook.
poked me on Facebook.
my God.
Was it
That's a
MySpace back in the
thing, man.
days?
That was a thing back then. Yeah.
MySpace was so
You
Facebook.
Facebook had a thing that you can go on someone's profile. You click poke.
yeah, no, I remember. At that point, I guess because I'm a little older. We had MySpace.
Yeah, I had MySpace.
MySpace was before Facebook.
Yeah, I'm saying, but I thought at that point that was the phase at her age.
Oh,
That was the
in
MySpace
high
age.
school. You were still using MySpace in high school?
Yeah, man. When I came, I was like 16.
Oh yeah, he's from Germany.
I was born in Germany.
So yeah,
But okay, so
they don't do Facebook over there.
No.
Clearly.
So okay, so I'm sorry. How did you meet him? He poked you.
Yeah, he
He poked you on Facebook. He
Right.
poked you on Facebook.
He poked me on Facebook.
Okay.
I poked back, and then we met each other in the hallway in school. We were in the same PE period. So we would cross paths when we would go to the locker room.
Right.
And then met him in person. We hung out once, and then inseparable for 9 years.
Shoot.
Inseparable.
Literally, like out
Ups
of those
and
9
downs.
The
years.
irony that came in October then.
Yeah.
So what was like the downfall, if you're comfortable talking? But if not, let me know. And
What? No. She came here for a reason.
Yeah, we're talking about it because this is.
I don't know. Some people
This
are
is real
uncomfortable
shit.
with that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Tell us.
I need to ask: do you guys allow cursing on your podcast?
Hell yeah!
Fuck,
Look at this
bitch,
guy.
shit.
Okay, because I'm
Being blacklisted. No, go ahead.
I'll try to keep it to a minimum.
Nah. Express yourself.
Okay, so pretty much what ended up happening was we both wanted two different things. 9 years together, never got a ring, never moved out, never moved in together. I didn't really understand, I didn't understand what was happening. So through those frustrations came up a lot of different petty arguments. But really the root of the cause was, why isn't there any commitment? I definitely want to take the next step. If I've been with you for 9+ years, clearly I want a future with you. Clearly I want to, marry you, have kids. When's that coming?
Right, but you have to remember, you guys were dating for such a long time when you were so young. So it's not like you were dating 9 years when you were in your 30s or mid-20s even. I mean, a couple of years you were even underage. So, I mean,
When did you
plays into that as
expect?
well.
Yeah, like that's a good point, because if you were so young, when would you expect the ring? Did you expect?
I didn't know. I didn't have a timeline as to when it was going to happen. I just
thought-
wanted to see that it was going to happen soon. As soon as we made like 7 years or 8 years, we were already.
So you would have been like 24, 23.
Yeah, we were already out of high school. He already had his career. I was starting mine. There was definitely room for growing together, but instead we grew apart. And I feel like that's very common with young relationships. Like
Absolutely.
you start off, growing together, but at some point you take separate paths. So that's pretty much the gist of what happened.
That's such a fragile age almost for people in who they are and who they'll essentially will become to be, right? And I think that's such a common thing for people to so many changes. You go from having to raise your hand in order to use the restroom to then being able to vote and go to school, and people expect you to do the things what you're going to do for the rest of your life. So it's so much responsibility, and everybody grows at different rates, right?
Yeah.
And so it sounds like you wanted to go one direction and he just wasn't maybe not as ready, or he wanted to go a different path. And so I don't think there's a shame in that. It's just realizing like, hey, this isn't where we need to be, or we're not aligning anymore. And at this point, maybe it's time to part ways, right? Which I'm assuming is kind of what happened.
Yeah.
No,
Did you guys have the conversation?
We did. Yeah, we did have the conversation.
And you guys were on the same page as far as marriage. And is that something that you wanted? Obviously, was he on the same page?
Clearly he wanted it, but there was a lot of things that he wanted to accomplish before.
Such as?
His definition of success is different than mine.
What's his definition?
His definition of success, he says that his definition is being financially stable.
Oh yeah, you're gonna find that everywhere now.
Of course, but you're not necessarily just financially stable or successful if you're a millionaire. Like his thing was he wanted to reach money. And I was like, that's not my thing.
So he didn't.
Like we can get that together.
Right. So he thought if him marrying you, asking you to marry you, he would kind of slow down that goal? Like he wouldn't find that success?
Exactly.
But why?
Which is what I didn't understand. I'm
Okay.
like, why
I
can't
think
we
I
do
can
this
understand
together? So go
I think
ahead,
I can
help me
understand. I think
Elaborate.
it could possibly be because okay, so a property either buying or renting is going to be money that you guys are living together, which is what you guys never did, right? That's money being pulled away from him. If you wanted a ring or some sort of form of commitment, that would have been another monetary expense for him. And then that could have probably also meant that, okay, once I do this, I have to now focus my life around us and what can we do together. I want to assume that.
I'm going to stop you right there.
Go ahead, please.
When you're in a relationship, a lot of people fail to realize this. When you said, oh, now I'm going to have to focus on us.
Yeah.
The focus should always be you and your partner.
Right.
If you're in
I
a
agree.
committed
I agree.
relationship.
Right.
I agree with
It's
you.
not me versus you. It's us working together.
But his mentality was, I need to become a millionaire, not we need to become a millionaire.
Exactly.
So that's a problem. There was something else before I was rudely interrupted. Well, okay.
It does it all the time. Don't worry about it. So what did you think that ring was going to give you that you didn't
I
have?
remember. A child. Because you also said that you wanted to bear children. You wanted to have a child, right? Obviously, it wouldn't have been right then and there.
Yeah,
But that plan right there could have been a huge scare for him. And he would have probably thought, Jesus, if this, a child's it's not easy. It's not cheap. In fact, I read somewhere that like the first year for a child, most of it, like the average is like almost $100K just to support the child for the first year. I read that somewhere. Obviously, there's probably more like, what is it? Middle America, whatever, middle class.
Yeah, but everything that you're saying is completely based around fear. Oh, okay, so
Absolutely.
you're not going to have a child because you're scared that you're not going to be able to financially, support them. Granted, that's a very good reason.
I don't think it's about that he can't financially support. I think it's more that it's going to take away from the goal, which was what?
Yeah.
He wants to be himself financially stable. And what does that mean? Becoming a millionaire. And he thought, okay, there's no way I could do this if I have a child. If I have to pay for a property. And then if you do have a child, that's another, maybe you have to change the car. Then you need a bigger house or apartment so then you can have that space. So I can see why he was afraid, but I would say that, yeah, he was just afraid for the full on commitment.
I think it's tough because it's such 9 years, you said, right?
Yeah.
It's such a long time, but at the same time, you guys were young at the time, or young. I think what's problematic is the fact that 9 years is a huge amount of time. At that point, I would want to see something too as well. Like I wouldn't just want to date somebody for 9 years and not have a ring on my finger. I get that. At the same time, you guys 24, 25. So that's a young age.
Yeah,
it's a hard
situation.
But there's also a lot of time that they were together.
I agree.
as
I
well.
100% agree. That's what kind of obviously makes me lean towards you. And I would have probably cut the cord as well. I'd imagine was that the biggest reason? I mean, it's a huge problem. But was there any other underlying issues? Or
So that was the main reason
Sure.
that started like petty little arguments. So it was me being like, okay, well, why haven't we taken the next step? And then he would leave some shit in the kitchen that pissed me off. But really, it wasn't the thing in the kitchen.
it was an underlying
the
issue.
commitment,
Right. You
know
just
what
kind
I
of
mean?
we were triggered.
So it was constant fighting and bickering because of this one thing that never, really got resolved, or I never really saw a positive shift in that or any progress in that direction. So it led us to bickering, fighting, and then it just got toxic, and that's when we cut the cord.
Okay. Do you have friends in your close friends that are married or have kids, or?
Now, yeah, but when we were together, no.
Okay, because that sometimes
yeah.
kind of triggers like, oh, everybody's having kids.
Influences,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
So I just wanted to ask, but obviously that wasn't affecting you.
What did affect me though was external forces. Like everybody on the outside, like, oh my God, you guys have been together for 9
That
years.
pressure,
Yeah,
that
the
pressure. So probably even family, parents,
Yeah.
siblings, and stuff like that, close friends.
it was
That's not fair. Like
It's
if you look back at it, not just for you but also for him, don't you think that it's kind of a little unfair to like for all those outside factors to be influencing you to want something when maybe together you probably didn't want it together. Maybe you were influenced by whatever was outside, and then that's like, okay, hey, it's time. And then he goes, whoa, babe, like, yo, not yet, whatever. But then you said, no, we have to. Do you think it's fair?
I don't think it's fair. And I did realize that a lot of the things that I would think about wasn't necessarily my own thoughts, but I was influenced by outside people. And it's common, like it's normal for you to get influenced by other people, but at the same time, it was 9 years. I'm always gonna bring it back to
almost a decade, dude. And I mean, that's a fucking long time. I can't date somebody for 9. But then again, you guys were, when I was 24, 25, I didn't, as a guy, marriage wasn't really something that I thought much of. Now that I'm 27, I would definitely want to get married. and I wouldn't spend 9 years dating somebody. But I'm also 27, so it's so different.
Yeah, it's different.
When I was, when I was 25, 24, 26, marriage really wasn't that big of a concern of mine. But then again, I didn't date anybody for 9 years before that. So.
Okay, sure. Don't marry me, but can we move in together? Can
Okay,
I
so that
okay. We're going in a
okay. I didn't know about this. So you guys didn't want to move in. He didn't want to move in together.
No commitment. There was no moving in, no ring. No.
What a schmuck.
Where's your head at, bro?
What a schmuck.
So then what happened? What was his reasoning behind that?
He wanted to buy. He didn't want to rent. He
Oh,
wanted
yeah.
to buy a house.
That's like me.
So he was living at home. You were living at home.
Yeah. We literally lived like 2 minutes away from each other, so it was not that big of a deal, but still.
No, those were the outside forces telling you like, hey, you guys got to come in together, move in together, right? Oh, bro.
Oh, but 9 years together and you fucking have sleepovers? The fuck? No, dude. No, I'm with you. So are you at peace? Are you happy?
I am.
You are.
Yeah.
So okay, I'm sorry. Let me go back. What were you doing when you realized this is it? I'm gonna walk away from 9 years of my life with somebody that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. Like, where was your head at?
Ooh, deep breath.
Like, fuck. I got you.
So the biggest boundary that you can never cross with me is don't ever make me doubt you or lose trust in you. That's like at the top of the list for me. You make me doubt you or, lose faith in you 1%, that's it.
Let me take a note.
That's it. Mm-hmm. Okay. So it came to a point where, shit got toxic and, we both made mistakes, but I just couldn't let that go. So
that was it.
That was it.
Did he try to
turkey.
reconcile? Did he try to, when dudes realize they're done for, they're like, oh no, here's a ring.
Well, before that, but yeah.
here's a ring. I've been saving. I
swear I had it the whole time.
Yeah, you didn't know.
No, but before that,
always lying?
did you ever feel like, did you guys have a lot of back and forth in the sense that you guys were kept on? I mean, it's 9 years. If you guys were together for 9 years with no breaks in between.
No, we broke up on and off, on and off. Okay. I broke up on and off.
You were the one that broke up. Man, I bet you if I had him sitting right there, he'd have another story.
He's like, no.
Don't.
I'm calling him right now.
Him and I are on our really good terms. And I'm like, I'm going to come on this podcast. He's like, well, you better say both sides of the story. And I'm like,
I like that.
Hey, you see, brother, if you're looking at this, I got you, dog. I'm trying to pull that side out.
That's funny.
All right, so then obviously I see your side. And you told us a little bit about him. You guys were off and on a little bit. What were like the little issues in between that you guys felt where you guys had to split up and then get back together?
For me, it was he didn't understand my love language. So my love language is words of affirmation and physical touch.
Let me write that down again.
Yeah, words of affirmation and physical touch were my love languages, and he didn't understand that. So he would show me love in ways that he felt was enough to show me love.
That's his way, yeah.
Well, I didn't feel it. And I would bring it up over and over and over and nothing would change. So that stupid me, immature me, mind you, I was like 18, 19. I would just be like, oh, fuck you. It's over. Yeah. 2 days later, I miss you.
Yeah, you made me say, okay.
But then it got to the point where you finally were able to emotionally remove yourself from that. Because obviously, those little petty breakups that happen all the time. But I was told that emotionally, once a girl completely ends it with you, like that's it. Like there's nothing there. Because I feel like a woman will fight and will hold on to whatever's left.
A certain amount, yeah.
But once they completely cut that tie, like that's it.
Yeah.
And then that's what happened in October. We were just like, there's no way to reconcile.
Yes, exactly. Because of that, what I said before.
Did he try?
Of course.
One last time?
Yeah, we tried. We both tried. We're like, you know what? We both made mistakes. Let's try to fix it. But the reason why it didn't work out is because we weren't all in. We were still very
It wasn't the same. Right?
It
was broken beyond repair.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I asked if you were happy. You said, or at peace. And you said you are.
Yeah, I'm
7 months later.
Yeah, I'm at peace. Simply because me and him are now on good terms. And that he was a huge part of my life. I never wanted,
of course. He'll always be huge impact.
Yeah,
he'll always be in your life.
The good thing about that is, obviously 9 years is a long time. So it would be unfortunate to kind of lose someone, that knows you in that sense. So it's kind of important that you're able to kind of see everything full circle and kind of go back to it and say, you know what? Yeah, we obviously broke up and there was a lot of negativity into it. But the history and the relationship that we had, it's something beautiful that we should at least hold on to and kind of keep, for having that kind of connection with someone.
Yeah.
You kind of want to lose that.
Yeah. So, you obviously, we've only seen each other, I've seen you for 30, 40 minutes, but you look strong, you look healthy, you look ambitious, hungry. So, you've been with somebody for 9 years and it's only been 7 months that you guys been apart. There's going to be a lot of women listening to this podcast and they're going to ask, how did you get through it? That's a hard battle to go through.
Yeah. So thankfully, I have a really amazing support system.
Awesome.
So the silver lining with this whole, situation that I went through is I got really, really close with my family. I got much closer with my family, much closer to my friends, and I just leaned on them for support because they genuinely wanted what was best for me at the time. And I just leaned on them, and they gave me advice, and I took bits and pieces of what I felt was relatable to me at the time. But more than anything, my sister. So my sister's a counselor, and I need advice, help me, and I'd just be like blowing up her phone every day.
That's what I was with this guy.
Like, help me out, and she would help me see things in a different perspective. And then a message to all girls out there: the post-breakup glow-up is real. It's so real.
Yeah, you're glowing. We can see it.
I was really forced to just, instead of pouring my heart and my soul and all my energy into this one person, I ended up pouring it into myself, back into myself.
Love that.
Perfect. Yeah, that's always what we preach, because a lot of people, they're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do, where to go, who to talk to. And it's like, talk to yourself, man. Like, you need time for yourself. You got to figure out. I think I put a post today that was like, if you don't know how it is to love yourself, at least start by respecting yourself.
Oh yes,
100%. And then that's when you start to really understand, the little bits and pieces of how to really give yourself that love, to really understand like what really gets you going, you know?
So now, I mean, single for 7, I feel like you have to relearn everything, like, because you've never really been single as an adult.
Good.
So how is that?
Good.
Have you been dating? Have you been meeting people?
Good.
How is, you can be honest, no judgment, 7 months, but like, how is it for you?
Yeah, so it is very hard. It is very hard because I went from, me dating back then. I was 15.
Right.
How do you flirt as a 15-year-old? You poke each other on Facebook.
Right.
How do you flirt as a 25-year-old? It's so much different. So honestly, it's just hard being vulnerable again. That's what it is. It's really hard.
Opening yourself up to somebody. Okay, awesome.
I did date, I guess, or see somebody for a very, very short time, which was such a cool guy, but I just wasn't ready to receive that kind of love, so that's why it didn't work out. But
when was that?
Maybe like a couple months after my breakup. I was like, wow, this guy.
You wanted to get back into the scene.
Dip your toe into it, into the
tiptoe.
Okay.
Wet my toe a little bit. Jumped right back out. I got cold feet, to be honest.
Okay.
Really?
I just wasn't ready.
So if you were to meet somebody right now, tonight, or whatever,
probably not.
You want us to leave the room?
No,
bro. You're hinting in that direction, dog. You're glowing, dog. You could tell that breakup glowing. You're glowing today.
No, I'm just asking because that's why I asked.
Dropping your pen and everything.
That's what's gonna fucking throw that. No, that's why I'm asking, because you said it was a couple of months ago, and it's like a lot of changes happen. Obviously, that's what I'm saying. You have to relearn everything, and it's such a big difference between now and probably even just a few months ago.
It is so much different, and I feel like now I'm kind of more ready than I was a couple months ago, but I've been pouring so much into myself and focusing so much on myself. I want to love myself 100% before giving that to somebody else again.
Yeah, it's going to take some time.
And when do you think that's going to be?
I don't set a time to it. There's no specific timeline.
The reason why I asked is because me, for example, I've been lost in loving myself, that I don't really care to put anybody else before me. So a lot of people, like, I've met great women, and for me, I've never really been able to be like, to take that step. I've always been stuck where you were at, where I'm just like, I don't know. I'll get cold feet. I did my toe, and I'm like, no, muy frío. I don't want to do this. So then I cut it, So like, what do you think you need for you to think, okay, I think I can do this now? Like, I think I'm ready for the next step.
It depends on the type of person that I meet. I'm never going to say, 2 months from now, I'm going to be 100% ready. Right. Ultimately, I feel like you won't know that you're ever 100% ready, because there's always going to be that underlying fear of, fuck, if I'm vulnerable again, what if I get hurt? That's just the reality of the situation. Are you asking me what I'm looking for?
No, in the sense, like, do you think, so then it would come down to the person. Like, you would have to feel something with that person. So in this last guy that you dated, or whoever it was that you dated, apparently he didn't have the juice to...
we never got that far. I didn't allow it to get
really?
that far. Yeah, I didn't allow it to get that far. I was scared. I was really scared.
Yeah, but it's normal. I mean, you've been with somebody for so long, and then you just, it's a huge transition.
Yeah.
So.
Damn, it sucks. Because, because think about it. Like, let's say, because it's happened to me, where, post breakup, I met someone that was amazing, but then I said, no, I can't do this right now. And then I cut it, And then I always look back, especially now, like some of them either are in serious relationships, or like, one of them is even married, and one of them I thought she was fantastic. And I look back and I was like, damn, son, like,
Yeah, but you weren't ready.
I understand that. So then that's what I'm bringing up. Do you ever think that maybe you can come across that? If you can probably meet someone that's good and you're going to think like, oh, I'm not ready. But then you'll see that you're probably going to like look back at that and like, oh man, I regret that.
Yeah, I mean, it can definitely happen. There's always going to be that what if.
That what if. It's part of life. But at that time you weren't ready. So it's not very much you can do. At least he didn't like lead him on, waste his time. You kind of would imagine it just ended up amicable.
Yeah.
And that's it. Okay.
Is that the only guy that you saw after? How I mean, did you guys see each other for a long time?
No, it was like maybe like a month.
Oh boy,
it's not that long.
It's not that long.
No, not at all.
Scared.
That's tough.
Scared.
So now it's Natalie time. Just focused on yourself.
Yeah, I've been hustling, pouring into myself, finding myself. What is it that Natalie likes apart from a relationship? Like my relationship was my identity. I was in it for 9 years.
That's the thing.
So now I'm just learning what is it that I like to do, who am I as a person? What do I like? What do I not like about myself? And it's been really fun just having those hard conversations because through those conversations you grow and you evolve, and then I'll be more ready to, pour back into somebody else once I feel like I'm 100% pouring into me.
So what have you learned so far on this journey? If you know anything specific that you maybe just didn't realize you some favorite things to do, hobbies, things that you had to figure out by yourself.
Any new passions?
Right. Things you learned, skills.
I mean, unfortunately, we're kind of in the midst of a pandemic, so not much you can do.
And it's so weird. Like all of this happened at the same time. Like shit, I can't go out. I can't meet nobody. Can't travel.
That's true.
Yeah, that's actually one of my favorite things to do, traveling. But hanging out with my friends, I've made a really strong connection with my group of girlfriends that has really blossomed into something really, really great that I didn't have before. Love going to the beach. Love like being outdoors. Just spending a lot of time with myself. I love doing that. I didn't do that before.
Okay. Have you traveled since you 9 years? Did you travel with your partner at the time when you were together?
Yeah.
Okay. And have you traveled by yourself since then, or with your friend? Let's say with friends, or you just couldn't get that far?
I traveled by myself actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
LA.
Okay, that's cool. For how long?
For 10 days. I think.
By yourself?
I'll just leave. Luch, you want to come with me?
No. That's because I'm curious.
Yeah.
So 10 days. So what made you just say, hey, let me hop on a plane and
because I've never done it before, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna book a ticket.
I always tell people,
go to LA. Yeah, I always tell people you gotta travel
hop
by
on
yourself.
a plane, right, Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so much fun just like doing the vacation on my own terms. I went wherever I wanted to go. Didn't have to consider anybody else. When you're in a relationship, obviously you have to consider somebody else. Right. It was all me, so that was refreshing.
That's awesome. I love that.
Now that you're single, do you think you prefer being single?
No, I hate it.
Really?
Yeah, I hate being single.
Oh,
because I feel like you just don't know how it's like to be single.
Well, yeah.
3 months we were closed, you couldn't even do anything. I would hate to be single too.
Mm-hmm.
And then before that, you were still struggling with kind of figuring out who you are, kind of letting go to that partner.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like maybe just to give it some time.
Yeah, I'm not in no rush to get into a relationship at all. I just know that I hate it.
So what have you what else have you learned from yourself? After the breakup, obviously, you were able to kind of find yourself a little bit. But what are things that you really learned, like outside of you being one with somebody else? Like what else have you?
The most important, I guess, lesson that I learned was just because you have genuine intentions to somebody doesn't mean that they're going to reciprocate that back to you. Just because you would never do something to somebody, doesn't mean that they won't do that to you. It was a lesson that it just forced me to grow up. I was living in a fairy tale for a really long time, and that situation caused me to, wake up and see things for what it is. I also realized that in my relationship, I was very codependent on somebody else to make me feel happy, to make me feel like I was worthy or enough. Definitely don't do that. Do not
Don't do that.
ever give somebody the power to make you feel happy. Like, it's so cliche when you hear, oh, you can't fully ever love somebody else until you love yourself first. And I never really, paid attention to it, but it hit different once I was single. I'm like, man, that's so true.
Yeah.
So that's something that I'm working on.
Yeah, I think it's hard when you're with somebody and you really love them. You want them to be happy, and your identity kind of ties to that person. So I feel like we're aware of it, but it just kind of unfortunately ties into that, and sometimes we end up pouring more than we're receiving, giving more than we're getting in return. So it's a tricky thing that you have to be aware of. But when you're with somebody for so many years, it's just kind of like
It becomes a habit.
It becomes a habit, and it kind of slips your mind that you have to put yourself first.
Do you think that you can get so far into just loving yourself that you don't want to go back into being like into the dating pool?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like, and I feel it. I feel like I'm becoming numb to anything.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm becoming very emotionless, and that's scary too. because I don't want to be alone forever. And if I keep this up, definitely it could lead that way.
I mean, you got a couple of years left. I mean,
couple of years. You got a whole life.
I know, but like people are like, oh my god, I gotta have kids by the time I'm 27, 28.
No.
Do you still have those goals? Because I know a lot of women do. Like, I don't want to be 30 without kids.
I definitely want to have kids before 30. Fuck.
Well, then again, it's different.
I
For
only
30,
have 5 years.
Yeah, that's a long time from now.
Yeah.
What I wanted to ask is because you were saying that you work fully online and everything. How the partner? What was he doing? Was he kind of doing
What was his career?
Yeah,
he was a firefighter. He's a firefighter.
Yeah. So how did that work into you were at home? We had more flexibility with your schedule, and he probably stuck by like a obviously more of a.
So firefighters work 24 hours on, 48 off. And the fact that we didn't live together didn't really affect anything. I actually really enjoyed when he was at work for 24 hours because I get to be alone and do my own things. As far as the support, I feel like when you have a presence on social media, it's really, really hard. Yeah, go ahead.
I just wrote it down. I just wrote down social media. I thought you were looking at my paper.
No, it wasn't. Okay. It's hard when you have a presence on social media and like your partner is not okay with it.
So
that was an issue.
So you had a problem with it.
Yeah.
How many followers do you have?
11,000.
Yeah, I'm
I just looked it up. Yeah, because I wanted to talk to him.
Okay, and so he didn't really have a strong social media presence, or
No.
Did you post them a lot? Did you guys did you post?
Oh, I loved posting us.
Okay, that's good. That's reassuring.
That was my life,
Yeah,
right.
True.
So he felt some type of way with you having that attention and
yeah, he didn't like mostly like the stuff that I would post. Like my industry is fitness, so if I'm inspiring women, I have to post myself.
Confident of
I'm very sure. Post my body, and
I
don't know if it was so much him or like the people that were surrounding him in his head. Oh, I would never be okay with my girl posting shit like that. And it's like,
really,
bro,
what are you posting?
Well, let's look.
Let me
I really don't post bad stuff though. Like I take pride in that. You'll find a booty picture here and there, but not every day.
Carlos, you looking into it already? Mira, you gonna tell me?
Mira, whoa.
Yeah, I think you know which picture I'm talking about.
So, okay, the reason I was asking, so now, like, obviously you're, at some point, obviously you will date again. Would it matter to you if they're on social media, if they have a presence on social media, if they're working 9 to 5? Because some people, especially who are very focused on social media, and that's their career, they're just like, hey, I can't date a person who has a 9 to 5. I don't know, there's some people like that.
Not,
so it doesn't matter to you.
No, continue.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no. So because I was watching this video and this chick was like, "Oh, I'm an entrepreneur and I can't date somebody who punches a time clock and who works 40 hours a week and does a 9 to 5 thing." And a lot of women think that way who are into that in their career. And so I wanted to pick your brain and see, since obviously you do everything online. So it's like, do you have a preference? I mean, I guess maybe you don't even know if you have a preference because. You haven't really dated anybody. Yeah. So
I don't really know the lifestyle of being with somebody who works a 9 to 5, but I don't think that would affect anything.
Okay.
I am just, since I'm on social media and that's my job, you have to be okay with it. You have to be okay with supporting me, with taking my fucking pictures if I ask you to. Like, so that just comes with the territory. So it's really hard if somebody's not on the same page,
So I mean, if they have to be on that page, they also have. Is there a chance that they may also have to be in that industry where they can relate more to that?
No, I don't think so. No.
So well, for social media relationships, the first thing that I want to cover, well, more about that. Do you think that it would be easier for you to date someone that's within your industry?
No, I don't think it would be.
You don't think so?
It would be harder?
Yeah,
Really?
It depends. Like from a business standpoint, it would be easier simply because, we'd be that power couple or that fitness couple, Yeah. So it'd bring in more money, I guess. But taking that aside, my happiness is what's more important. So it doesn't matter what industry you're in. It doesn't matter if you work a 9 to 5. If you're supporting me, if you genuinely love what you do and you back me up 100%, then that's not a problem. So I don't feel like social media should play a role into your relationship.
I mean, if you ever, once you do get back out there and you do meet someone, I do think that obviously given your platform and how you're posting and going about your stuff, people are going to be supportive because people are meeting you like this now. It wasn't like when you started dating him where it's like, hey, babe, I want to start taking pictures because I need to promote this. So if, for me, I'd be like, for what? We had a conversation with our last guest, remember? And we asked him about it. What would you do if your girl did OnlyFans? Remember?
Yeah.
And he's like, as long as it's, just like bikini pictures and stuff, I don't really care. It's no big deal. But
But what's your opinion on that? I would love to know.
Oh, we had an episode. You should.
Oh,
Did you
okay.
watch it?
Tune in.
No, but so the reason why I asked is because, you know, for him, you know, when you start getting into something, he was like, oh yeah, I don't really care. I think I'd be okay with it as long as it's not, you know, too exposing. But then he's like, but if she were to get into that actual industry, like not industry, I'm sorry, but if the day actually comes and I'm put into that position, what am I really going to say? So obviously for you, you know, when it comes to that, I'm assuming it should be cool because, you know, for him, he probably would have been when he first started, he was probably like, what? Why do you want me to take a picture of you in a bikini? Or
Yeah,
whatever?
there was a lot of resistance
Really?
in the beginning. Yeah, of course, because mind you, hello, we started when we were 15. I was not into fitness at
It's
all.
all new.
And then all of a sudden, you know, I wanna switch up and start posting bikini pics on Instagram. I understood that, but we had that conversation. You need to have that conversation.
And then with your freedom of having that, like you can work whenever you want. Obviously, I think it will be easier for you to date anyone, really, no matter what the industry is. However, since you said, well, you have physical touch and words of affirmation. So apparently, you know, quality time, I guess you would understand if there was like that distance because, for example, I work 9 to 5. He doesn't. So you see, like for someone that works in my area, I literally have after 5 and that's how we have this. So I don't even have time. So how do you kind of, like, how would you balance out, like, if they do have the 9 to 5, do you expect, like, oh, right after, you know, if you just, like, don't take clients after 5 o'clock or?
Yeah, so I would, if I were to get into a relationship or when I get into a relationship, I've always been really good with time management. So I would plan out my schedule around my significant other schedule. So if my, you know, boyfriend, husband, whatever, gets out of work at 5, I'll stop taking calls at 5 so that we can have that time. No, I have that freedom to create that flexibility with my schedule, so I don't think that would be an issue.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the good thing about your you know what you're doing is because you have that room to maneuver versus somebody who's a 9 to 5. That's kind of like Monday to Friday. They have to be somewhere at a certain time, and so with your career, obviously you don't have that. You were saying that your partner, your ex, he felt some type of way when you post certain things and stuff like that. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So you think if the shoe was on the other foot, you think it would be if you were to date somebody who has a very strong social media presence and fitness industry, posing certain pictures or whatever, you think that would bother you?
No.
You sure?
No, I'm very much like a hype girl. Like,
Okay.
You look supportive. She's like very bubbly and
I
stuff.
want people to just like, I see the potential in you and I'm like, post, come on.
Cool.
There's so much money to be made on
Really?
social media. Go ahead, do it.
Because no, there's a lot of women who feel some type of way about one thing, and then if the shoe was the shoe was on the other foot, they would have a problem with it, right? So the fact that you're open about it, and you can say, hey, no, I wouldn't.
Yeah, that would make me a hypocrite.
But like what? Like
Surprise.
what do you mean though? Like what other examples would you say?
No, and it's like a lot of women, if feel like, oh, they justify their behavior. They're like, oh, I can do this, or I can talk.
It's like a
to
double
this.
standard.
Yeah, and then it's like if the shoe was on the foot, they're like, oh no, that's not okay. It's different for me.
Dude, I saw a video today that it was a girl that she's like, oh, if your boyfriend talks to another girl, that's cheating. But if the girl talks to another guy, that just means that the guy wasn't giving her enough of what she was looking for.
Yeah, exactly.
And everyone in the conversation was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Dumb
Like
shit.
that double standard bullshit.
Stupid.
All right, so as we go towards the ending of the podcast, we want to have some fun. And what better than asking these random questions that I know you have for us, but then we also have. So who wants to go first? Let's do rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
On shoot. Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. All right, so you go first.
No, you won.
Oh, no.
Scissors beats paper.
Yeah, but I thought like I had choice, like, you know.
Oh, okay. My turn? Okay.
Yeah, no, you got it.
So
I won.
what we're doing is we're going to put the boys on the hot seat for a second.
Let's do it.
So I asked my Instagram followers to send over some questions on some of the things that girls would love to ask guys but are too shy to ask. So I'm going to keep my girls anonymous.
Go ahead, that's fine. And then we're also going to be dishing out our own questions back. So we're going to have a war here.
Okay. First question. Ready?
Go ahead.
Do you notice the hair? Do you notice the hairs on our butthole when you're doing it from the back?
Yes.
Yes.
100%. Yes. Wow.
Interesting question. I did not see that
Graphic.
coming. Yeah.
First of all, you know, it's funny because I also saw another post that it's like, you know, girls that, you know, they're so shy about certain things, but little do they know that we see their butthole when we're doing it from the back. So it's like, why are you being shy? Like, we're literally seeing your anus, you know?
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. So then we're going to ask you direct questions because obviously you're our guest. So, I already know the answer. All right. Have you ever been catfished?
No.
You've never been catfished. Ah, that's no fun. Okay, your turn.
Okay, why do guys follow or like so many revealing accounts if they're taken? Is it some sort of fantasy?
I actually don't do that.
I do.
I don't do that. When I'm in a relationship, like when I'm single, I like whatever I want because I'm single.
Oh.
But when I'm in a relationship, I don't really do that.
You mean like in a relationship or single? Or does it matter?
She's
If
in a
they're
relationship.
taken, yeah.
Oh, if they're taken? Oh.
Have you done that?
No.
It's been a while for you.
Yeah, I don't remember.
So you don't follow or like anybody's pictures when you're in a relationship?
I mean, that's tough to answer.
So when I follow a lot of girls, but when I'm in a relationship, I won't favorite anything that's inappropriate. I won't like anything that's inappropriate. So I won't like a butt picture or like titties. I like dog pictures or if they post something with their family and friends. But I won't like because I wouldn't want her doing that. If I wouldn't want her liking guys' pictures or like half naked or abs showing. I was like I don't know. It's just a matter of respect.
Right.
But when I first started, it was in a relationship. I was like that. I was just like, and then she would complain. She was like, "Oh, why are you liking all these pictures?" And then I put myself in her position. It's like, you know what? I wouldn't want her doing that to me either. So at that point, it was like a mutual respect thing we wouldn't do. But I know a lot of guys do it. I can't. You know, I guess I was like that. But after I kind of understand where she was coming from, it's like, okay, let me put myself in her position. And then guess what? I'm not gonna do it anymore. And that's it.
Having that communication.
I mean, no, sometimes for me,
dialogue.
I just like a lot of random stuff. And also not only that, like for example, like you in that you're in the industry. And for example, if you have to post a revealing picture to obviously for your fitness and your physique or whatever, like, would it be wrong if I like it, if I'm supporting you? You know what I mean?
I mean, you can support her without liking. You can, I don't know, support her.
Like, for
without
example, I
liking
know
that
her.
picture.
So let's say I were to get into a relationship and then, now she's one of the homegirls now, If I want to like the picture, because I support her, I know what she's doing. That's obviously like her body and that's what she's using as her tool for business.
I feel like you would have to have that conversation. With the
Okay.
person that
Yeah,
it is.
Fair.
As long as you
I'm
have that
going to
dialogue.
challenge. I'm going to challenge the narrative. So I just wanted to make sure you're ready for that. All right, you ask.
Yeah, the first one. Would you ever do an OnlyFans?
Actually.
Are you familiar with?
I'm
familiar with
familiar with OnlyFans. No.
No.
I thought about it, but no.
Okay,
so
That's why I'm pausing it.
share. Yeah, that's why when you asked, you didn't say anything. And I was like,
So what's your thought process?
The reason why I thought about it was because there's obviously a lot of money to be made there, but I would keep it. I wouldn't post nudes.
No, you can maybe post the same content almost that you put on Instagram.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
there's a lot of even fitness girls that.
Yeah.
Fitness routines and stuff like that. That's actually, I mean, it's dude. That's OnlyFans is a platform. You can give piano lessons on in OnlyFans.
Yeah.
That's essentially what it is. What
Do
you
people
with
do
it-
that?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
there's
cooking.
makeup.
Cooking lessons.
Really?
Yeah, it's a
I just thought
platform.
it was a platform to show your ass.
It's a tool. What you do with it is obviously.
Did you know this?
Yeah, it
Where you
is.
been?
I'm a pervert. Anyways, your turn.
Okay. Why are men so intimidated by women who are independent?
Wanna go?
Sure. I'm not, but I would assume it's because so we've had other episodes and I discussed briefly, I don't want to get too into it, but a lot of it is ego and control. So I feel like if a woman
Control is a big one.
Yeah. So think about, when you had a relationship, it was together. If a woman is independent, it's us, but I can also do my own thing. So that's what I think it is. It's almost like once you have that a woman is independent, you can lose them at any moment if you slip. So even if you kind of make a little mistake, or if you know that you can't mess around or you can't push certain buttons,
Absolutely.
that can be, a threat to the relationship.
Yeah.
So as long as if they're not independent, if they're codependent to someone, then you know that it's not so much of having the control of the relationship, but you just know that, not about getting away with certain things.
I was
but
thinking that you get away with.
Yeah, you do
I
get
feel like you
away
get
with
away
stuff.
with.
you
more.
could. I mean, I'm not thinking it that way. You guys are terrible people. But the point is, you could get away with more things, but you just know that, anything won't trigger them to leave. I feel like someone independent will know, and they'll have that pride to be like, oh, I don't need you then. You're going to act like that. You're going to do that. You're going to try that. I'm going to ride. So I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I remember when my last relationship, this was years ago, and she was 2 years older. She already, she was a therapist, her everything together. Like she was on her stuff, and I just really didn't know what I wanted to do. I was kind of lost, and so I was somewhat intimidated by her success, and she got her master's and what she stood for, and her beliefs and her convictions. So the way I felt it was because like I didn't have anything to show for it. And I'm like, damn, why is she with me? She can be with anybody. Right. So now who I am now, it's like I have so much going for myself, the books I've written, the stuff that I'm working on, and I feel like I don't have that insecurity anymore. So I feel like if you're an independent, strong woman who has her own goals, her own dreams, her own success, you got to find a man who's on that same page. You can't just be dating anybody, and that's just the way it is. I think it's even more relevant for women than it's for men. I mean, it goes both ways, but a lot of men are scared of that. It's what Chris was saying as well. So
That is what
Strong,
I'm saying.
independent women that don't need no man. That's what you're
absolutely,
saying.
yeah.
Preach. So speaking of independence, so this should be an easy question for you. Would you ever be a sugar baby? Sugar baby. So would you ever date a sugar daddy?
No.
No.
No, I've actually. It's so funny because we get DMs all the time.
I wanted to go into that because I mean, with 11,000 followers, one of the questions I was going to ask earlier is obviously you have, but since you haven't been dating, I don't know how often you would see your DMs or your requests. So what have you seen?
I've seen people ask me for feet pictures. Can I be your sugar daddy?
And you want to do OnlyFans? And you won't do this?
No, wait, I wasn't done.
I'll show my feet any day. Hey, how much you paying for these bad boys?
Exactly. I'm like, there's my Venmo. Hit me up. I never sent a picture. Though. I was waiting for the money.
But you get the money?
No.
Scammers.
So, yeah, they're scammers.
So if they would have sent you the money, you would have sent the picture.
My feet, yeah.
What's the worst that they've asked for?
My socks, my used socks.
Would you do it too?
No, probably not. That's weird.
Where do you cross the line with by socks?
Yeah, I'll show you my feet.
Used undergarments, I guess.
Gross. All right, your turn.
Okay. Why do you throw your clothes on the floor when the hamper is right there?
I'm just lazy. Sometimes I'm just tired. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'll do it later.
No, I think it's because I'm probably gonna reuse it. 'Cause I don't want to wash it. I'm like, that's still clean.
You got a couple of days left.
Yeah, man. Marvin, you go.
Who pays? According to you,
I got that
got
one
you.
too.
Who pays on a date? Different scenarios. First date,
The guy.
second date,
The guy.
third date.
It depends. I
Depends.
feel like it's whoever initiates.
Okay,
though.
so what if you
who-
initiate the second date?
If I initiate, then I'll pay for it.
Have you ever asked? Well, never mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, because you haven't really been dating, so I can't be like, have
Yeah.
you ever asked a guy out on a date?
I was gonna ask that too, but
But you, I mean, I'm sure you've.
I mean, I have.
and then did you pay?
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay,
That's
good,
awesome.
good,
for
all
you.
right.
Good for you.
Yeah, you're
And so
good.
now, if you're in a relationship,
It's 50-50.
50 with everything.
Yeah.
What about if you were to move in together with that person?
50-50.
Why not?
What do you mean? Why not? No, I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, no, because there's some people. Last week, who did we have on? Oh, I paid the rent and
Yeah, but then she paid for everything else,
which was what? Groceries?
bro. Every week, how much? Well, how much?
Nah,
how much are
the-
groceries? Oh,
Nah,
how
to-
much
to
are
be-
groceries? She's in the fitness industry. I bet you she spends like $1,000 a month on groceries.
No. You're right now. You're
She's-
saying what everybody else says. Oh,
It's not
eating
that-
healthy is expensive. It's not. I spend
she's
like
about
$100
to, she's about to
on
school you, boy.
$100 what?
on groceries a week.
A week? Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
$400 though.
And how much does he pay?
But that's just okay. But then think about if they want to go out, they want to go on dates, they want to do any other.
I agree. No, but that's what I'm saying. That's their situation, and that's why I wanted to ask her for her input.
Fine.
I like that. So 50-50 when it comes to
Yeah.
when you're in a relationship.
Yeah.
And then dating is whoever initiates it.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. I like that.
Go.
Do exes be keeping your nudes? Asking for a friend.
Like if I keep my ex's nude?
Yeah.
No. What the fuck?
No?
No.
You
My ex-
delete them?
Yeah.
They're not in your cloud?
No.
Liar.
I swear to God. I wouldn't do that. For what? That's weird. Especially if it's been years.
I mean, I'm sure you got it.
Yeah, I agree.
Delete.
Yeah. You have nudes of your ex?
I mean, I'm sure I can find some. I didn't
Yeah.
go out of
Why are
my
you making
way-
us feel weird? No, you're weird for not keeping them.
Nah, dude. You have nudes of your ex?
Yeah, of course.
All of them?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. No, I mean some got lost along the way, and some were probably deleted, but I'm sure there's some.
No, I delete them.
Anyways, go your turn. Oh wait, you asked us. No, it's my turn now, right?
Yeah, you go.
All right. What is? If you were to shoot your shot to a guy, how would you do so?
That's that.
That's hard.
What do you think is the best way? Well, and then I'm gonna flip it also. But first, if you had to approach a guy or shoot your shot to a guy or write to a guy, what do you think would be your success? How would you do it?
Via social media or like in person?
Both of them.
Both of
Hmm.
them. Social media?
So you see Marvin,
like
this
a post.
dashing young man, right? See him at the bar. You think, damn, I want to go up to him.
I wouldn't.
So what do? You bat your eyelashes at him, make sure he looks at you?
Yeah, I just like laugh in his direction and hope that he comes.
Does that work? Has that worked?
I don't know.
You
Okay.
gotta keep trying because
Yeah.
it's just been
I guess I'll
recent.
let you know.
All right, and then what about on social media? Let me guess, you're gonna react to their story.
You react to stories. You like their
like
posts.
a few pictures, and
Yeah, I'm too shy to.
Yeah, that's what he
like the
does.
first one.
As soon as he follows you, he likes like the first couple pictures.
Or that's me showing support.
Yeah.
No, it's bullshit.
Now if I
That's,
like 3, 4, 5 pictures,
that's what I just said. You like he'll like
the first
as soon
couple,
as as soon as he follows you, he'll like 2, 3 pictures immediately, and then once you like back, boom.
Yeah,
That's
that's the poke
it's
on
good.
Facebook.
Yeah,
That's the bullseye. That's the
poke.
bullseye. So then let me flip that really quick. So then
Yeah.
how would you want a guy to approach you both? Social media, we'll try. How can a guy get your I know. How can a guy get your attention on social media?
Be different. Don't talk about my looks. Don't talk about my looks.
But that's all
So
there
what?
is. That's all you showing.
Talk about
no.
talk
What are
about
you showing?
fitness or her nutrition.
I post a lot of valuable content on my Instagram. It's not just pictures of my pretty face.
Period.
Yeah. And there's a lot more to me than just my appearance.
No, I'm not disputing that. But social media, especially Instagram,
Yeah.
it's a lot of people go off. Obviously visual.
Yeah.
They can't talk to you. They can't hear you speak. They can't. I don't have you on social media, so I don't know what you post. But interesting. Yeah.
Maybe you should.
Yeah, maybe you should follow me.
Maybe I should. Maybe
Trying
I
to get
will.
the girl to 12K, man. You why you supporting?
I got you.
See, that's why I like her booty pictures and you don't. Okay, and then in person, how would you want a guy to go up to you in person?
Be different. Don't just be like, hey, you gonna come here often.
So what would work?
Did they say that?
Yeah.
I've used that line. It never works.
Maybe just start off like with a joke, like make me laugh. If
But
you can
before
make me
that, do you think that physically you need to be attracted to them,
Yeah.
or do you think that someone unattractive will still have a chance if they have a better approach?
Yeah, definitely. If
So
you,
a joke, be funny.
Yeah, be funny. With me, you got to be funny. If you don't make me laugh, it's not gonna go anywhere. And if we can like roast each other, even better.
Good.
So they could be ugly, but as long as they're funny,
No,
No, you
no,
can't
but
be
it's-
ugly. You
Mediocre.
gotta-
Extreme, son.
like mediocre,
Like you like a,
No, just
an
not
eight.
unattractive for you, but maybe
like mediocre.
maybe he has an
decent-looking
ugly
guy.
face but an awesome body.
Or just an
That
awesome
gives everybody
personality.
points, and you know it's true. Look at me like I'm crazy.
it does.
Huh.
It does give you points.
Wow.
But personality reigns.
That
supreme.
and confidence, I think, will probably help
Yeah.
that too, right?
Yeah.
Being able to control that. All right, go. You turn.
Okay. Favorite body part on a woman?
I love boobs. I'm a boobs guy.
I'm a face guy,
That's boring. All right.
but it's true
Yeah,
because
it's true.
if you don't have an ass or titties, if you have a pretty face, that'll hold over time, right?
Fair
Well,
enough.
now with Botox and stuff, I mean, you can hold everything over time and surgery and whatever. But if I had to choose, if your question is ass or titties,
Ass or titties? Titties.
Titties.
dude, I don't know, man.
Really?
It's tough, bro, because ass is great.
Yeah, you're from Miami. I would expect you to
Ass is
say
great, but
ass.
titties have a shorter shelf life. So you got to appreciate those things when they're still fresh. You know what I
But
mean?
it's also like, okay, if they have great, amazing titties and not like an average butt or a shitty butt, they can just work out and the butt can get better. Boobs, bro, you got to get work done. If
everybody does.
Facts.
Yeah, but some girls are afraid of doing it. It's a lot more work. It's a surgery.
Bro, we
more
live in
risk.
Miami. Everybody here has their boobs done.
All right, well, I'm a
Oh,
boobs guy.
You have your boobs. Oh,
I was.
Not me.
Would you ever
99.9.
get Would you ever get work done? It's kind of defies your.
No.
Kind of defies
You would
your
never-
statement.
keep it natty.
Keep it natty with Nat.
I like it. I like it.
Hey,
Hey.
that's dope.
All right, whose turn is it? Your turn.
Okay. So this one girl says she went from uncircumcised to circumcised. Why does circumcised feel better? She said.
I'm circumcised,
That's all.
and I feel like it's. I don't know. I don't know why it feels better.
It should
Maybe
feel better because the grooves are exposed. You know what I
So
mean?
it's more.
I
what,
think
more
yeah.
like a
I mean,
grip?
you haven't seen these crazy dildos that have like a bunch of bumps and like grooves and they twist and vibrate and shit.
I guess. I mean, yeah. I suppose.
It's got to be that. I mean, she should know that. How would I know?
You gonna find out?
Nah, I mean, tell her to follow me. Yeah, so weird. What's her Instagram again? Super
Let me
awkward.
send him a private message.
At we'll talk later.
Yeah.
On camera.
Would you ever be open to dating somebody who doesn't work out, or maybe just average, couple of days a week, not as like you?
Or someone who's just not, or someone who just doesn't do fitness. Someone that doesn't do fitness, or maybe they're very not routine, like every day.
Never
Like this
say
guy,
never. Yeah, I'll never say never.
I worked out yesterday, by the way.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I'm good for another month.
Probably never say never. But it's not
Never say never, but it is a huge part of my life. So
lifestyle.
yeah,
You would want
I
that.
would want that.
I
I would want
respect that. Good.
Go.
Okay, this next one. Why do guys slide into your best friend's DMs and swear you're not gonna get caught? Why do you do it?
Wait, is this wild? What's the relationship?
Okay, so
I'm in a relationship.
you're in a relationship
and I'm
and
sliding.
you're sliding into your girl's best friend's DMs.
What? Who does
Why
that?
would you do that?
Why would I don't
That
fucking
is
know? The
fucking
guy's an
stupid.
idiot.
What a knucklehead. What a schmuck.
Okay. Question for you. Would you ever date a man? Would you date a man that's shorter than you?
No.
Why? First of all, how tall are you?
5'4",
How tall was your ex?
6 feet.
Oh shit.
So why not? Why can't we get the short kings to give you a shot? Why can't you give a shot to the short kings?
Short king, y'all are cute, but y'all not.
You
for
see,
me.
hear that? Y'all are cute.
Yeah,
Y'all are
cute.
but I need me a man.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
All right.
and I like wearing heels, so.
fair enough.
That's fine. He can wear some too.
Okay, my question. Why do guys feel the need to send heart eyes, reactions, or emojis to girls if they're taken? Like responding to stories, sending the heart eyes.
If
go with that.
so, if I'm single and the person that the other person is in a relationship,
No,
like that
you're
girl,
in a relationship, and why are you doing that?
if I'm in a relationship doing it to other girls,
The guy's an idiot.
yeah, I'm not
The
doing
same
that.
response.
I'm not doing that. That's a
Oh, that
schmuck.
guy's shady. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
He just likes flirting with danger, and he likes to see what he can get away with.
So he's shady.
Yeah, he's super
Well,
shady. Yeah,
what
like
else would he be?
yeah, like hard eye. I mean, it depends on what it is. Like if it's a dog, like I may do that. you know,
Right,
because
but I don't think she's meaning. She means like
if it's
Like a
just like
selfie.
selfie and stuff like that.
yeah, no, there's no excuse for that.
No.
Unless they're like one of your best friends or something that's from the opposite sex. But other than that, even then, I don't think. No, guy's an idiot.
Fair.
Yeah, no, it's a no go.
Did you ask? That was your turn, right?
Honestly, I don't even think I have any more.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
dude, I have a couple of other
Okay,
ones.
a lot of them she answered.
I got one. I got one.
Go ahead.
So you said physical touch is important to you, okay?
Yeah.
How important is sex in a relationship?
100% important. Super important. I feel like, that level of intimacy you're just having with your partner. So if it's not enjoyable, if you're not connecting, if there's no chemistry there, then I really feel like there's something else going on. You don't really have a connection or chemistry in other aspects of your relationship.
Okay.
So I feel like sex is very, very important.
And you being in a relationship for I'll let you go on. You being in a relationship for 9 years, did it ever get boring? And if so, how did you guys kind of spice things up?
No, it never got boring. It never
Cool.
got boring. There was always sparks in that department. But how you switch it up, you just got to be open. Watch porn together, use toys.
Put a
experiment.
finger in their ass or something.
Yeah, definitely put a finger.
Hey,
That's the second person that tells me that.
Yeah, you got it. What? You don't
No,
put
but
fingers?
no. You put.
Oh no, I don't
that's what I'm
Wait,
saying.
what?
put fingers. What do you? Why am I?
Yeah, where are we going with this?
Well, that's a great time to wrap up the show. Thank you so much for watching.
So you are open with us communicating in the bedroom. We had an episode like a week ago or so,
Last week's
and we talked
episode.
about communication in the bedroom. There's a lot of couples that they're afraid of doing it, or a lot of guys, a lot of girls. So you were saying, hey, just bring it all out there.
Yeah, I feel like if you're scared to have that conversation, then you're not truly comfortable with your partner. Then there's something else going on there. Okay. I feel like if you get to that level of intimacy where you're standing naked in front of somebody else, then why are you being shy?
Right,
Just,
fair enough. Might as well go all out.
yeah, might as well go all out and just enjoy it. Let it be enjoyable for the both of you guys.
I like that.
All right, go hit us.
Okay. Do you enjoy foreplay more than sex?
What's included in foreplay?
Foreplay,
Everything.
Yeah. What's more enjoyable?
Finger in the ass.
Finger in the ass.
That's a good question. You know what? It depends, because if it's like somebody I'm into, obviously, or if I'm even a partner, then I think foreplay is huge, super important. I love foreplay. I'm not a person who can just let's have sex. Like I think foreplay can it'll make or break the sex.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I think foreplay is more important.
Yeah.
It makes the sex fun. Other than that, it's just like it's boring. It's unemotional. It's
Because technically you can have sex with anybody, but that foreplay is really when you learn what the person likes, what they don't like, what to pull, what to push, what to do, what not to do. So I think the foreplay makes sex fun.
Yeah.
So I think foreplay all the way.
I got one more for you guys when you're done.
okay. Perfect. So then I'm gonna hit you one more too. You ask yours, and then I'll finish because I gotta find one that's gonna be good.
Okay. During sex, eye contact or no eye contact?
Eye contact.
Eye contact.
Eye contact.
Yeah, I feel like no eye contact is. I mean, I guess it depends. I mean, you're not gonna do like doggy style and be like,
Let me see your face.
look at me, look at me. But at the same time, if eye contact is possible, I think we should.
So do you guys prefer sex in the dark, or do you want some light to be? Everybody's different.
Yeah. Do you want to be able to see?
Yeah.
Full blown light like this.
Yeah, I want to see.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Interesting. What about you, Chris?
What?
Sex, dark, lights, like this.
No, I want to see what's going on.
See what's going on.
Yeah, man.
Things are moving.
Yeah, bro.
Okay.
If it's dark, I mean, then you start hitting each other on accident. Like your elbow goes this way, they come up and bump you in the head and stuff. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. I don't know if I have any more. You know what? We'll clean it. We'll finish it up pretty simple. Do you think women should shoot the shot more, or do you think that men should be the ones? You didn't ask.
Because she was saying that she shot her shot,
Okay. So look, we live in this movement, right? Women are so independent, right? We're all equals. We want to do everything the same. We want to be able to do things, right? Do you think? Because a lot of women, you just said it yourself. Oh, I'll laugh in his direction, or I'll bat my eyelashes so he can see me. Do you think that women should be more vocal about how they shoot their shot? Or should it still be up to the guy?
I guess I'm old school in that sense. I think the guy should be.
So you're old school in that sense, but everything else, you're like, oh, modern.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
It's fair, right? Yeah, totally.
Like
Equality, yeah, right?
Interesting.
No, that has nothing to do with equality.
Yeah.
It's just like, I see it like this. If the girl shoots her shot first, that comes off as like masculine energy. Like she's the one that's initiating it. She's the one that's going to have like the one up in the relationship. No, for me, I like being,
being dominated.
Submissive. Yeah, I like being submissive, and I would rather a man approach me because then that shows his strength. He's not scared. He's not intimidated.
But then don't you think that puts a lot of pressure? Because then what if you do have a guy who shows the strength, shows that he's not scared, shows that he's confident, and then you shut him down because you won't even give him a shot?
Right.
Why wouldn't I give him the shot if
he's short? He's 5'3".
Well, that's just not the man for me. That's just what it is.
You see, but what if he has every other quality? He's just a little,
He's short.
Yeah, then he's.
No,
that's it.
Booted. Next.
So what would you say to guys who are like, hey, I want to approach my woman, but I'm scared of rejection, or I don't know, how do I read the signs? If a guy was tuning in right now, wanted to see it, like, what advice would you give him?
Be confident. If you're not confident, that's definitely going to show off to the person that you're talking to, whether that be social media or in person. Just come off extremely confident. Don't be cocky,
So approach.
The approach, okay. That initial first impression is a big deal. Yeah.
I like that. Interesting.
So then if you were at a bar, right? I don't know if you go to the bar because you're all like done, like you're in athleisure. Do you go out? Well, obviously not right now, but you do?
Right now, yeah.
Cool. So then what do you need the guy to do? Because you want to be confident, go up to you. You don't want that question like, hey, you come here often? What and other than being funny, what would be for you like a solid, like, okay, yeah, if he were to do this, I'd give him a shot, or I'd be more open to listening.
I said it already, be funny.
Right, but how would the guy like go up to like, hey, knock knock, or do you want him to kind of be social?
To be honest,
really?
If he were to say knock knock, that'd be different. I'd be like, oh yeah, what's up?
Interesting.
I'm just corny like that. I guess
everybody's
I'm
different. Yeah, everybody's different, but interesting.
But sometimes you gotta risk it for the biscuit.
Right.
You know.
Will you ever do that? Approaching her like, hey, knock knock.
Yeah, bro. Because you know me, I don't care. Like, whether you like me or not. If you don't like me, it's your loss.
Yeah,
I know my value. If I'm gonna go up to you and I'm gonna invest in my own time, my own courage to go up to you. You don't see it, it's cool. No hard feelings. And plus, I don't even go up to people like that. Like, to be like, hey, the hitting on them. No, like, look, let's try to have a conversation. I like your energy. I like what you look like. You look very pretty, and I like to get to know you. If you don't like me, you're not attracted. Hey, by all means, it's cool. That's
fair enough. Simple, straight.
Anyway, so NathalieCFit, any final words? Oh, it's time to break up. I just did it last time with Richie, so
do the routine.
So, any final thoughts, final words? How do you want to close this out? It's up to you. We want to know any words you want to give to people watching.
Any shout outs.
Any women watching, any men watching, what you could tell yourself.
The takeaway that I really just wanted to get across for, women that are watching and are tuning in is what I said earlier. Don't ever give somebody else full power to make you 100% happy. So if you feel like right now you're in a point where you're in a toxic relationship, or you just got out of a toxic relationship, or a relationship in general, and you feel like the root of it was because you genuinely weren't happy, fix that before jumping into something else, because I promise it's going to be so much better. The end.
Beautiful.
Like that. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on, our first female guest. You won't be the last, but we appreciate you being on here and taking the time and getting your perspective. It means a lot to us, right, Chris?
Natalie, today was truly a pleasure. Thank you so much
awesome.
for taking the time and actually spending the couple of hours with us to kind of get this done.
It means a lot.
Honestly, it's an honor to have you on. You've been very receptive, and also you've been very supportive. You know, that's why we wanted to get you on, because you know, pretty much engaging with us, writing to us, commenting us, and everything like that. It's what we look for. You know, you're a very special person. Thank you so much for opening up to us. And time to close out. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you've seen, once again, please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can listen to us on Spotify and iTunes. If you're listening to us on Spotify and iTunes, you can watch us on YouTube.
Subscribe.
Highly recommend.
Yes, subscribe.
Subscribe, like. There's a ring that bell, the notification bell on YouTube.
Smash that button.
Smash that like button. And yeah, most importantly, please engage with us. So look, we had someone who engaged with us, and look, she got a spot on the Coffee Breakup.
That could be you guys.
It could be you
guys, right?
Like an award.
So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for for tuning into another episode. If you stuck around this whole time, appreciate it. As always, have a good one. Happy Friday.
Be safe, guys.
Later.
Thank you.